week 2 of the fantasy baseball season, and I know it's early in the season, but some of these players at the hitting position, you should drop off your fantasy roster. The first guy's Christian Walker of the Arizona Diamondbacks. Christian Walker, he's been a big slugger the last couple seasons here for the Diamondbacks, and he was a sleeper in many fantasy leagues and drafted on fantasy teams in 10 and 12 team leagues or deeper. And now he just went on the 10-day injured list with a right oblique strain. But even before that, he was going to make the list as Walker. He's been dropped in 5% of fantasy leagues this week and is only just still at 60. So far in the season, he's 7 of 39 from the plate with a home run, 3 RBIs, 6 runs scored, an awful 179 batting average, and a 250 on base percentage. So Walker, he was batting third for this Diamondback team. But now with the devastating injury, because those oblique strains, they could take weeks. You got to use your whole body. And you see it a lot the last 5 or 6 seasons here in the major leagues. A lot of guys getting those oblique strains, and they're missing a month or 2 easily of the season. And Christian Walker, I expect him to miss probably 3 to 4 weeks minimum here. And he's an easy drop with the struggle in batting average and the injury now. I don't think he's worth the roster spot. And the last few games for Walker, April 8th at Colorado, 0 for 4 with a strikeout. April 9th versus the Reds, 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. April 10th versus Cincinnati, 2 for 4 with a run and an RBI. And April 11th versus the Reds, 1 for 4 with a run and 2 strikeouts. So right now, he wasn't doing anything for this Diamondback team or owners. And he was batting down in the dumps. I know he was only about 40 at-bats, but you can't wait too long in the fantasy season because you don't want to start off the year behind the 8 ball and down in the standings. So right now, Christian Walker's an easy drop. The second hitter is Sean Murphy of the Oakland Athletics. So Murphy, he was a sleeper catcher coming into the season here, but right now he's been awful for fantasy owners and the Oakland Athletics, and he's had a little bit of a wrist injury the first couple weeks here of the season. On the season, he's 3 for 22 from the plate with 2 RBIs, 10 strikeouts, and a 136 batting average and a 296 on base. So at least he's drawing some walks, but he can't hit the baseball. And he was a big sleeper coming into the draft, like I said. But right now, he's not doing anything but sleeping and not producing here for Ronins or the A's. And he's been dropped in 5% of fantasy leagues so far in the last few games here for Murphy. April 8th at Houston, 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts. April 10th at the Houston Astros again, 1 for 4 with an RBI, 2 strikeouts. And April 12th at the Diamondbacks yesterday, 2 for 4 with an RBI. So maybe Murphy will get things going. But right now with the low batting average and the percentage dropping mightily over the last couple of days here, I think I would go out there and just drop him. We've seen a couple good catching options step up the last couple of days here and put up productive numbers. And right now, catcher, to be honest, there's not many great catches for fantasy baseball anymore like there was years ago. You got your Ramutos, you got your Grandal, you got Gary Sanchez if you want some power. But besides those few couple guys in Salvador Perez, there's not much great value behind the plate. And you're going to be going through catches a lot this season. And right now, you could drop Murphy, get someone else. And if Murphy gets hot, you pick him back up again. But right now, I think he's not worth the roster spot, especially in 10-team leagues and 12-team leagues. The next bat is Ryan Mountcastle, Baltimore Orioles. So Mountcastle, he's 74% owned, but he's been dropped already in 3% of fantasy leagues. Is the former top prospect here for this Oriole team. It's good he's got some versatility playing first and outfield, but so far in the season, he's 7 of 38 from the plate with a home run, 5 RBIs, 5 runs scored, 17 strikeouts, which is a big problem, a 184 batting average and a 224 on base percentage. So right now, he's barely getting the bat on the ball, and he's had multiple games where he struck out 2 or more times is Mountcastle. In the last 4 games for him, it's just been a struggle. April 7th at the Yankees, 0 for 4 with a strikeout. April 8th versus Boston, and 1 for 4 with a homer and 2 RBIs, but 2 strikeouts. At least he hit the homer there. And then April 10th versus Boston, 1 for 5 with a run and the sombrero. And April 11th, same thing versus Boston again, 1 for 5 with a run and the sombrero again. So his strikeout rate's high. He's not putting the ball in play, and he's just swinging for the fences, and that's not the right recipe for a good batter for this Oriole team or fantasy owners. And right now, you can wait and see what Mountcastle's going to do, but I think he's droppable, even though he's got a good schedule coming up versus Seattle and Texas. But still, I don't think he's going to get the job done much. And 10-team leagues and 12-team leagues, he's definitely droppable, in my opinion. The next hit is another slugger, C.J. Cron of the Colorado Rockies. So Cron, he was on my sleeper list coming into drafts this offseason. But right now, Cron, he hasn't done anything at all. And fantasy owners, after the first week and a half here, they've had enough of Cron. And he's been dropped already in 10% of fantasy leagues, but he's still owned in 54% on the season. He's 4-27 from the plate, no home runs, 1 RBI, 5 runs, a 148 batting average, and a 281 on base percentage. So we knew with Cron coming in, he's going to have a high strikeout rate, but he's a guy who's capable of hitting 25 to 35 home run range. But right now, he's not even showing the power or nothing with only 1 RBI on the season. So I'm not going to wait around on Cron. And if he gets hot and you could go out there and get him again, why not? But right now, he's just not worth the roster spot, in my opinion. In the last few games for Cron, it's been a total mess for him. April 6th versus Arizona, 0 for 5 with 2 strikeouts. April 7th, again versus Arizona, 1 for 3 with a run, 1 RBI, 2 Ks. April 9th at the Giants, 0 for 2 with a strikeout. And at the Giants, April 10th, 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts. And last night at the Giants, he didn't even play the game. And it's an off day again here for Colorado. So right now, they might be benching him. And they might not be happy with the production. So right now, I think Cron is an easy drop this week. And the fifth and final hitter I will look to drop this week is Miguel Sano of the Minnesota Twins. So Sano, we've known for seasons now, he's a guy that's going to have a low batting average, but the power is definitely legit. A guy who could hit 30, 35 home runs if he plays a full season. And Sano, so far on the season, he's been a train wreck. 3 for 33 from the plate, 1 home run, 3 RBIs, 5 runs scored, 16 strikeouts. So half his at-bats are a strikeout, an 91 batting average, and a 250 on base. So right now, Sano, he's still owned in 68% of fantasy leagues. But fantasy owners, they're getting tired of Sano right now. And I don't blame him. I know it's only been 33 at-bats, but he's striking out every other at-bat. He's not putting the ball in play, and he can't even hit 100 from the plate right now in the last few games for Sano. April 6th at Detroit, 0 for 4, 2 strikeouts. April 7th at Detroit, 0 for 4, 2 strikeouts. April 8th versus Seattle, 1 for 4 with a run and RBI, 2 strikeouts. April 10th versus Seattle, 0 for 3, a strikeout. And April 11th versus Seattle, 0 for 3 with a strikeout. So no, he's only got 1 hit in his last 6 ball games. And that's not going to get the job done for the Twins or fantasy owners. But obviously the Twins, they're loyal to him. He's been on the team for a very long time now, and they're going to give him every opportunity. But if I'm a Sano owner, I'm done giving him an opportunity, and he's a hitter I'm going to drop this week. A few hitters I would look to drop here in week 2 of the fantasy baseball season.